From CBS 4, this is Haystack TV, powered by HaystackColorado.com. Finding reliable services can be like finding a needle in a haystack. With HaystackColorado.com, finding the needle just got a lot easier. Now, the host of Haystack TV, Chris Kane.
Today on Haystack TV, the state of Colorado has a new law that means repeat drunk drivers will spend time behind bars. Jansen and Associates will explain the details. Millions of tons of construction waste is sent to landfills every year. Academy Roofing is trying to change that. We find out how. Many people are looking to remodel their home this summer. Lakewood Plumbing and Heating is on hand to talk about how they can help remodel your kitchen and bathroom. And moving into a new home can be very stressful and time-consuming. Coming up, we find out how Amazing Moves makes moving amazingly easy. Hello and thanks for watching. Colorado has a new law on the books that requires repeat DUI offenders to spend time in jail. The strict sentencing requirements came about in part because a report that found judges were interpreting the previous law differently. The attorneys at Jansen and Associates aim to educate and represent those charged with DUI and other crimes. Jansen and Associates are members of the Colorado and Denver Bar Association. They belong to the Colorado Criminal Defense Bar and the National College of DUI Defense Attorneys, and they have no complaints registered with the Better Business Bureau. Molly Jansen is the owner and partner of Jansen and Associates. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about the new law that has been in effect now since July 1st. That is, I guess it affects mostly second and third time DUI offenders.
Particularly the second time and third time offenders, that's correct. What happened on Thursday is the law shifted in terms of minimum mandatories of what the judges can do for sentences, essentially.
Now, if you're convicted then of a crime or of DUI for the second or third time, you're going to jail.
You are.
That's automatic.
If there is one message that I can send today is you're going to jail. There has been in the past, prior to Thursday, an alternate sentencing. There's been alternate sentencing, meaning you can do work release, you can do straight time, or you can do something called in-home detention or house arrest. And what that is an ankle monitor. You get to go to work, go take your kids to school, you can do whatever you essentially need to do, but you're on an ankle monitor, you're not in jail, okay? They have taken that component away, which means if you get convicted of a second alcohol-related offense, the judge has to give you 10 days as a minimum, and you're not getting in-home detention. Your attorney can't even argue for it. It is not available. Also means that if you go to jail, you don't get good time. So in other words, you don't get credit for being there. You're doing straight 10 days. That's it. And that's a minimum guideline, which means the judge can still give you more than that. And there you have it. On a third offense, again, they're taking away that in-home detention. You're looking at 60 days minimum mandatory, straight time or work release, which means you sleep in the jail and then go to work during the day. Also, the law has taken away the opportunity for judges to say you can do this on the weekends, so you can keep your job, or you can do it midweeks. Meaning, you know, maybe you work on the weekends, you don't work Monday and Tuesday. That is also gone. So now there's no discretion. You are going to jail. That is the number one message that I can tell people. You can't call a lawyer and say, get me in-home detention despite this law. You're going to jail. That's where you're going to end up. And
people need to realize, too, though, that even though they're going to jail, if they just accept that and don't get an attorney, they could still get maximum time. I mean, you're talking minimum is 10 days on a second offense, 2 months on a third.
That's right.
But it's up to a year.
It is up to a year. And depending upon the facts of your case, a lot of people will come into my office on a second alcohol-related offense, and they'll be over a .2. So now they're looking at having an aggravated case. They may have had an accident. They may have had their prior only a couple of years ago. And so now their case is essentially crumbling. And now I've got a judge who's going to look at me and say, 10 days? Try again. And so really this thing can explode on you. And so to go in and basically say, well, I'll just take whatever you give me, that could be very detrimental, because a judge can do whatever they want. They can say, you know what, for you, I'm going to give you the year. And now what? Now you've got your year, and there you go, bring your toothbrush to court. I mean, that's not a way to spend your day. You know, I think it's really important for people to understand that now, more than ever, is a time for you to have counsel understanding you are looking at mandatory jail. You're not going to get a hall pass. You're not going to get the ankle monitor and walk out and say, well, that wasn't so bad. And really, now is the time for us to have to fight every aspect of your case to try and win it, to see if there's anything we can do to avoid that jail component. Because a lot of people, starting on Thursday, are going to start losing their jobs, losing their houses. They're not going to be able to pay their financial obligations. This is going to be disastrous for a lot of people.
It is. And your message has always been, you know, if you're going to drink, you cannot drive. Just
don't drive.
Do it.
No, not even one alcoholic beverage. You cannot drive, period. And that's the only way to avoid this. Otherwise, welcome, because it is a whole new environment for drinking and driving in the state of Colorado, and you know, it's going to be very disastrous for a lot of people. But that's what Colorado chose to do, and so here we go.
And people, you know, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to get, you know, arrested for a DUI.
Right.
If they do, they need to contact an attorney. That's something that they must do.
Absolutely, because this doesn't change the DMV component, which means that you're still looking at losing your license and going to jail. So I would say definitely get on the phone with a lawyer as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's complicated because it does involve DMV and the criminal charges.
Exactly.
So, Molly, thanks for the great information as always.
Sure.
And I'm going to tell our viewers how they can get a hold of you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Jansen & Associates wants to ensure that you are represented fairly and informed about the charges against you before you make a bad decision. They are a criminal defense law firm handling everything from traffic offenses to DUI to major felonies. Call them at 303-832-5400 or visit their website at Jansen-Legal.com. They offer free consultations. The number again is 303-832-5400. Millions of tons of old roof shingles clutter landfills every year. Coming up, we learn how Academy Roofing is trying to change that. And be sure to tune in every weekday from noon to 1 for Haystack Help Radio. We'll help you with your problems, questions, and complaints, find you reliable companies, and keep you informed on consumer topics. Haystack Help Radio airs every weekday from noon to 1 on 101.5 The Truth, Denver's FM Talk. We'll be right back.